Hello, good morning and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the first video from Laos. Yes, I've just got into Laos over the border between Chiang Khong and a place called Huay Xai, which is in Laos. Just went across the Mekong with the bike. There's the bike. So the idea is to tour around Laos. I've heard that the roads are a little bit shocking in places, quite potholed and really quite deteriorated, so we'll just see how we get on. But the whole process of coming across the borders, both the Thai border and the Laos border, took about an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, so not too bad. A lot of paperwork, lots of buying insurance, all this kind of stuff, so it does take a while and it gets a bit confusing, but you're basically told which booth to go to, which for, you know, they fill all the forms in for you. So we're in. I'm just going to go up to the town of Huay Xai. I'm going to stay there tonight, but I'll show you some places to visit because there's an old French fort which is now all renovated. The last time I actually came here to the town was back in 2008, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how much has changed, if anything. So anyway, let's get going because the town's only about 10 kilometers up the road. Okay, so I've just arrived in the town of Huay Xai, and this on top of a hill is Fort Carnot. It's a French fort that was built in 1900. And I'll tell you a bit about the history, because actually, even though the French were in Laos, they weren't actually in this part of Laos, this far northwest corner of Laos. But they built this fort to really keep an eye on who came down the Mekong River, whether or not it'll be the Siamese or the British in Burma. So they built this. And the last time I came to Huay Xai, back in 2008, this fort was just abandoned. It was a mess. I mean, it's you can still see some vegetation growing out the tower here, but back in those days there was no way that you could go into the main compound. It was all sealed off. But now they've renovated the inside. In fact, there's even a cafe, so let's see what it looks like. Just walking through the main entrance. Not too sure why they've got some very old aircraft in here, but they're very nice. And then this here is the main tower. And of course you get some good views from up here. As I said, they built the forts high up so they could command a view on the river. And you can see on the other side of the river, that's Chiang Khong. That's where I've just come from today, and you can watch a video all about that town in the top right of your screen now. And in fact, I've just put a circle around it. That's where I stayed. So this is the main street where you'll find a lot of guest houses and hotels and restaurants and cafes, a few shops, and useful place to go for your SIM card. I think it's called Little Hostel. I'll put the name up on the screen, but it's just down the road from here. That's a very useful place, and the young lady there speaks very good English. And I'm staying at the Riverside Huay Xai hotel here, and I've got a Riverside room for 600 baht a night. But this has changed a lot since I was last here back in 2008. There's a lot more here now, more guest houses and places to eat and cafes, that kind of thing. So it's really changed quite a lot actually. A load of ATM machines. I remember there I think only been one ATM machine, one bank when I was here back then, so yeah, a lot of progress. So this is where I'm staying, the Riverside Huay Xai. My room's right up the top on the side here. As I said, I have got a river view with a balcony, so it's nice. And then this is the restaurant, a big terrace here, and there's the river, and there's Chiang Khong. Okay, so this is the town's main temple, right in the centre of town. There's a series of steps leading up from the road where all the guest houses and hotels are on. So it's very handy to get to if you're staying on that street. But it dates back to 1880, and it says that the main stele, which is meant to be a stone inscription, dates back to, I think, the 15th century, in the middle of the 15th century. I'll put the date up. It's got some lovely paintings on the entrance of the main temple hall here. Really, really lovely. Well, very interesting. I've not seen something like this before. Circular sort of platform with all these Buddha statues sitting on it. So this is the slow ferry port, and these boats go all the way down to Luang Prabang. It takes 2 days to go downstream from here, and there's an overnight stop at a village called Pak Beng. And I did this trip back in 2008. I'll show you some pictures of sort of the landscape as we went along, and of Pak Beng. In fact, I got talking to somebody in a bar last night in Chiang Khong, and he'd done it as well, so it's a very popular thing to do. I think it's probably the best onward travel option given the state of the roads in particular, unless you want to go further north up to Luang Namta, which is where I'm going, which you can see in the video once I've made it in the top right hand corner of your screen. But this is the port's main port building here, and I think the boats go very early in the morning. So this building at the top of the road and the steps is actually Lao immigration. So I think this is where Thai and Lao cross over the Mekong, and this is where they do all the border formalities here. Yeah, they've actually got a sign here, get your ticket and cross over to, even though it's not spelt correctly, Chiang Khong on these boats. So in the video that I made in Chiang Khong, I started right at the Thai immigration office, and a boat of both Thai and Lao people turned up, and I videoed them going into the building. So that's on the other side of the river, and then you've got this on the Lao side, and it's just down there, the I think, yes, just down there is the Thai immigration. That's where the ferry goes to. Okay, so we've come about 14-15 kilometers north of Huay Xai to this shrine right by the river, and it's actually dedicated to a Lao princess who was the daughter of the last Lao king. I put his name up on the screen, and the dates he ruled, but she drowned at this point on the Mekong River, so this is why it's here. And this is the actual shrine here. Just come down a series of steps down to the river. There's some workmen doing some work down here, so they might make some noise in a second. This is very similar to what they do in Thailand. They leave dresses here as an offering. And that's where I'm going to leave off this video for now. If you like it, then give me a big thumbs up, and why not subscribe to my channel down below. Until the next video, see you later.